All right, go ahead and take a comfortable posture in your chair. Not leaning back or leaning too far forward, just sitting upright, feeling the weight of your body in the chair, resting your hands in your lap. Let your feet rest flat on the floor. And feel how that connects you to the ground and to the earth. Relax your shoulders and let your head balance on your neck. If you tuck your chin in just slightly, you'll feel how that straightens out your whole spine. And it also means you don't have to work so hard to hold your head up. Our head gets heavy. We'll take 3 deep breaths to begin. In and out, and in and out, in and out. And then go ahead and just breathe normally. Just let your breath come in and go out. Feel that breath with your body. You feel the breath enter your nostrils. It's cool as you draw in that first breath of air. Goes down into your lungs. You feel your chest expanding slightly. You especially feel your diaphragm, your abdomen rising like a bellows, first drawing that air in, and then it relaxes and you begin to breathe out. You notice that air has been warmed just by being in your body. It's not as though we have to push that hard to get that breath out. It just kind of peacefully leaves our body. And when we're emptied out, it's natural for the body to start to draw in breath again. Your belly rises as you breathe in. It falls as you breathe out. And just pay attention to that breath for a few moments. Feeling that belly rise, and breathing in, and fall, and breathing out. Feel the fullness of your body. That ability we have, even when we're sitting with our eyes closed, we know whether we're sitting, whether we're lying down, or whether we're standing. You feel how your body fills that space, the weight of it, how the earth connects to you and pulls you down to keep you grounded. And at the same time, as you're grounded, you extend your spine and your head, kind of reaching up into the heavens, stretching between heaven and earth, right here. Breathing in the spring scent of a heavy rain this morning, puddles, earthworms. I saw one out on the sidewalk this morning. Another one of those sure signs of spring. The lilacs are opening 2 weeks early. The crab trees are starting to bloom. And all the flowers are starting to push up out of the ground. The bulbs, the daffodils, the hostas. And here we are kind of coming to life too. It's a little odd. We haven't been in the deep hibernation we usually are around here. There haven't been those 30 below nights. But it still feels good to feel things greening up, smell those smells. And so we take all that in with each breath, sitting upright. In the same way we want to live in an upright way. We don't lean forward, trying to get to the next moment as quickly as we can, or lean backwards as though we're trying to avoid being dragged into the present and the future, or leaning this way or the other, judging our breath, judging how we hold our body. because then we go forward and we judge everything we come across. And instead, we're just here, just being present to the breath, into our bodies. And it really is wonderful to be able to breathe together. There are 4 of us here today, and one person who we've been missing for a while. We haven't seen in person. We saw her on Zoom, and she's been working, but she joined us today here. And I'm always surprised at how much we feel connected to each other just from this act and practice of sitting and breathing together, sitting quietly. Silence can be just as powerful a connection as talking with each other can be. And we certainly do that. We have very lively discussions, but we make sure to set the time aside to sit together quietly then, to let all of that settle, to ground ourselves so that we're ready to go back out into the world, able to move through it, being aware of ourselves and our surroundings, taking in those flowers of spring, the scents. Because all we really have in our lives is what is around us, what is happening right now. And too often, as we find when we sit quietly like this, we can be thousands of miles away or years away, either back in the past, thinking about things in the future, planning, or all too often that's worrying about the future. I think thinking about the past, as long as we're not attaching a lot of regret to it or anger, can help us to kind of make sense of our lives and stories of ourselves. But the future, well, sometimes we spend time thinking about things we're excited about and looking forward to. Most often when I'm in the future, it's that I'm caught up with anxiousness and worry about something that's going to happen. I heard something a while ago I had to remind myself again of just the other day, that worrying is not preparing. We think if we just think things through and worry about them enough, we'll know what we have to do when that thing we're worried about comes to us. But actually, you'll notice that if you sit quietly like this, not going into the future or the past, not judging, just being present with your body, with your breath, there's a kind of still and peace, but also feeling of being ready for when we take our last 3 breaths here to get up and go out into the world. Ready if there's something that came up that we know we can deal with it. Our mind isn't someplace else. If we walked out this door and a friend we hadn't seen in years was standing outside there, we walked out that door and there was a terrible thunderstorm. We walked out that door and that person we're worrying about meeting was standing right there. We'd be more able to deal with it by being calm and being centered than if we'd been worrying about all these things. And the other thing is we so seldom think about what it was we were worrying about, that much of it never even comes to pass. And a lot of the rest of it doesn't turn out the way we thought it was going to. It may not be as bad, or it may happen in an entirely different way. So all of that worry that we thought was preparing is no help to us. best instead to make sure we don't miss what's happening right now, right here. Our bodies breathing, sitting upright, sharing this moment and this quiet together. Feeling that feel of being just on the edge of summer, in the fullness of spring, knowing that the thunderstorms have passed, and when we walk out, there'll be just a slight drizzle. Just enough that if you wanted to, you could walk through it slowly and not get soaked. Just enjoy it. No need to run through it. You know, there's a poem someone wrote long ago that talked about this practice of mindfulness or meditation and how it affects us over the long period of time that we continue doing this, continuing to choose to live in this moment. And it says something like, walking in the mist in the mountains, before I've even realized it, my coat is soaked. And as we breathe in and breathe out, we realize how this attention and having intention about our lives, about paying attention to them, begins to feel more natural. And it begins to settle in and soak in right into our bones. And we're a little less likely to worry, a little less likely to get anxious or too depressed. Or when we do, we see it and we can remind ourselves, this is just worry. This is just sadness. Nothing I haven't experienced before. Like everything else, like this breath that comes and goes, it will change too. There might be sorrows in this moment, but there'll be happiness around the corner. I know it because that's the path my life has taken. All the time I've lived on this spinning earth, that again supports us as we're supported and standing here with our feet on earth and our heads reaching up into the sky. We exist right in between those two, as we exist between the past and the future. It's just right here where we have any opportunity to really live. And if we miss it too much, we don't pay attention to it, one day we will realize our lives have passed and we never really did live in them. Well, if I have a wish for you all, it's that you will be attentive, centered, and quiet enough sometimes to pause and just notice yourself and notice what's around you. And take that feeling with you as you leave this room. So when you're ready, take 3 deep breaths, and then when you're comfortable, open your eyes.